What's up, YouTube? Yami here, and this is going to be the very first video of Mindset with Yami. And we're going to start off this video, or this series, with the Yami process of developing a character. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it. A lot of people have been asking me, Yami, how did I get good with a character, or how did I develop a character? What's your thoughts on this character? So with all that, all those questionings and stuff like that, I'm the type of person, instead of answering the same question more, over and over and over again, let's just make a video about it. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump into how we can develop a character and what's my thoughts behind that and how to get better. In my opinion, again, this is all opinion based off of what I think and how I get better. So if you guys like how I play and you guys like my process and things like that, granted that I haven't really been too Smash 4 active, but this is how I would process myself, how to get good with any given character, and I find it to be consistent, and I find it to be knowledgeable, and this is a way that it can help others stretch themselves how to develop their own characters and things like that. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it. First of all, let's pick a character to focus on. Well, actually, first of all, we're going to training mode. Step number 1, training mode. Second step is to pick a character that you want to play with. For example, my main is Robin. For a lot of people who doesn't know that, my main is Robin. But for right now, let's focus on Corn. I don't do too much Corn stuff, or I don't display a lot of Corn stuff. And forgive me for the mods. So I usually rep Pink Squad. So I mean, it's pink female characters. So you'll see me rocking pink Corn most of the time. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's pretend like, hey, we're want to get more in depth with Corn. Let's say we don't know anything about Corn. Let's get more in depth into it. So let's go ahead and start it off. And when I think about a character or what I'm doing per se, I also think about what stage I want to go to. A lot of times your best bet is to go to flat stages like Final Destination or any of the Omega stages, because they tend to be flat and there's no curves or anything like that. Usually the blast zones are relatively the same. I don't know if any of the Omega blast zones are any different or not. I think they are, but very few are different. But if you want to keep it safe, just always go to Final Destination. Also, there's different kind of levels you can pick from stages that have walls. So for Corn, I probably want to practice stage with a wall. So if you get picked to like Duck Hunt, I don't know. I mean, I know Final Destination, you can cling onto the wall or her side B. You can practice some side B things here. But for example, I guess since we are dealing with walls and things like that, we'll go to Duck Hunt. Also, another great stage to pick on too, if you also want to learn how to train movement and things like that, Battlefield is another good stage too. So I will only pick between Omega stages, Final Destination, and Battlefield. Those are my 3 stages to go to when I'm training. If I want something with platforms, we can go for that. Oh, I guess you can add Smashville as well if you want a moving platform, because the moving platform can actually extend your combos as well. But outside of that, I wouldn't go anywhere else outside of that. So let's go ahead and dive into Omega Duck Hunt, just for the example of Corn. And obviously, she also has some side B tricks on Battlefield. We're not going to get into that because we're not going to go through every step, but just get the concepts here, and you guys can develop your training any way you want. So let's go ahead and just jump into this. So my secondary is Corn, if you guys didn't know, and we're in training mode. So another really helpful website for you guys to get into to learn frame data and things about a character, because I think it's always good to read behind the character that you're playing to get more information about it, instead of going out there and stepping into minefields and blowing up on a mine because you hadn't seen anybody walk for you. It'll make sense to use your resources to find out what other people already know. Let's not waste time and find discoveries that take you about 3 to 4 hours, and you're like, whoa, that's really cool. That's a really cool tech. And it's already been out a year ago, so make sure you do your research on your characters and use your resources. I know Kiro Game Hammer, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, is a really good website, and I'm going to post it here right now. You can see the link here. Well, I wouldn't say the link, but you'll see Oh, I'll leave the link in the description below, and you can see the logo here. So if you see this logo, you know you're in the right website. So that'll help you figure out when moves auto cancels, how much damage each move does. Also, you can go to training mode and be like, yeah, I know Nair does 7, back here does 11, things like that. But you have a big organized list of each move's properties, when on the weak spot, sour spot, strong, you know, everything like that. So you don't have to go into training mode and waste hours and hours of using all your moves and stuff like that. You can just look at a list and you go, okay, so you know, and you can test behind to make sure the information is correct. So you says, okay, forward smash, well, Fair does 7. So if the list says 7 and you go up to it and you do 7, you're like, okay, I can confirm that it does 7. So you can always just check behind the information, make sure it's valid. That's the main thing of training. You don't want to get wrong information, so make sure you check behind that. But yeah, you want to use that website and you want to use things, YouTube videos, and figure out movement and things like that for your character. So you want to get more and familiarized with that. So you want to know that short hop fair auto cancels. So you can do this and be safe. There's no lag, right? Well, I lagged there because I did it late. Because I didn't do my auto cancel frames correctly. So you know when each move lock. You know how much landing lag does your down air does. How fast you can recover. You know, is short hop up air good? Or is it more full hop and you can be safe and fast forward? You know, so you want to understand how all that works, how much landing lag, how safe is something, you know. So just get used to that and get a feel of your character. Another thing I want to talk about was knowing your frame rate of your character is knowing your movement of your characters. Like, how does it feel to move around with your character? Just throw out attacks, run around. You know, this is how I train. Again, this doesn't have to be your method of training, but this is how I train. You know, just get the movement down of your character. How do you feel? How does this feel, the dash dance? Or how does it feel the perfect pivot? If I can get that correctly. Well, anyway, I need to work on perfect pivoting, as you guys can already tell. So that's a good example of how to get your movement down with your character. And once you get the feel of the character and the movement and how does it feel on the ledge, and you know, the weight speed, the fall speed, how she fast falls, things like that. Once you get all that down to a T, and again, I want you to keep doing it, moving, things like that. Just keep on feeling how the character feels out. You know, make sure it feels natural to you. You know, just get the movement down natural. That's the whole point of training. Just getting a good feel of your character, so you don't have to think about how she moves. You can feel how she moves. So anyway, another thing I want to talk about how I develop a character is give each move a reason. Give it a label. Label your attacks, because obviously each move is different for a reason, and each move have a certain goal, a certain thing to give that character its own uniqueness. So for example, Horn has a really good range for most of her moves. She has a sword, so you know that she has disjoints and has a pretty decent sized range, space that she can control with her movement. So you know that she's not going to be like a character like Ness or Mario, where she doesn't really have that much of a range thing, so they had to fight kind of close. Or, you know, with Corrin, you can definitely play around with the range. So you can space out your movement and things like that. So that's another thing to understand. So with that said, you know what spacing that you need to do to be safe around your opponent to chip out some damage. So I know fair hits about like right here. So if I know that fair hits about like right here, this is kind of where I want to start spacing my movement here. You know, kind of like in this range. I'm not trying to hit Yoshi, but if you guys get what I'm saying. So this is your fighting distance with this character. You know, understand that. You know what I'm saying? That's knowing your spacing with your fairs, your jabs, down until learn the range of your character so you know what zone to play in. And of course, if Yoshi can't punish me here, and I play here in Yoshi's zone, like Yoshi can't jab me here, Yoshi can't neutral beat me here, and Yoshi can't up beat me, like, you know. So this is the zone where you want to be at with this character versus Yoshi, you know, because Yoshi can't do nothing to you. You can throw all these moves and it's always going to be safe. And the only way if your opponent can get in if you mess up. So that's kind of like going into an example with that. So let's go ahead and talk about giving each your moves a label. And obviously I'm not gonna go through the whole move set. That's your goal to do that. I know how to do this with Robin. Oh, Corn. I keep saying Robin. Robin wants some playtime on the recording, but nah, it's all about Corn today, baby. So, you know, maybe I know that Fair and Nair are great combo starters, since they do like not a lot of knockback. Trying to get something that starts a combo. You know, and then so I know that Nair and Fair are great ways to start stringing some combos in. And I know up air is not necessarily a combo starter. Well, it's a combo starter, but it can also be a combo finisher. So you can do something like Nair, Fair, up air, and that can finish your combo. And all those are legit combos. I'm not spacing them correctly, or I'm not at the right percentage. But again, you will figure that out as you play the character. So make sure you give you guys each move a purpose and a label. Like maybe Neutral B is good for spacing your opponent out, and each move can be different depending on your opponent's playstyle and your opponent's character. Obviously, if you're zoning a lot with Neutral B, because you know this is safe, you know, like you can shoot this all day long. Yoshi can't hurt you from over here. Yoshi is good, you know. So Yoshi needs to figure out how to get around that Neutral B, because you're taking up territory with your moves. You're controlling space essentially. Yoshi can't do much with it. So let's say, for example, you're going against a character that has a reflect. Well, obviously, if you're going against like Mario or Ness, that somebody can absorb it, you're not going to be using this move as often, because then you're giving your opponent an advantage, or you can maybe little your advantage and give your opponent the more of an advantageous state by giving something that they can work with. Like maybe Villager can pocket it. You don't want to give a Villager a free projectile, so you want to not use that, obviously, right? That's what you got to understand. That's also just depending on matchups and things like that. So again, label your moves. Give your moves like teasing. Maybe I can poke around with back here because back here is safe on shield. So maybe if I'm running and approaching, I can do a reverse back here. If my opponent is shielded, I can't get punished because it's safe on shield. And the fact that her back here actually has like movement to it, like if you notice that it pushes me back, maybe I can use this as a recovery. Oh wow, I didn't think of that before. You know, this is how you sit here and you laugh. But see, obviously if you use your resources, you know that this moves you, and you can use this as a recovery, so you don't have to waste your double jump to get closer to the stage. You can save your double jump, flap, and then use your up B instead of jumping or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's again just more examples of Corn stuff. So yeah, obviously you don't want to use Forward Smash at 0, because 0 is Forward Smash is something that you want to do to, it does some decent damage, but it's something that you don't want to use early, because one, you don't want to stall it, and it puts your opponent in a pretty bad spot. But it's better options that you can use to add more damage to your opponent. As you said, a little combo is 15, and this does 17 as tipper, or 16, or depending on how you space it. While stalling your normals gives them more chances of combo, because they are getting less knockback each time you're doing it. And you don't want less knockback on your smash attacks, so that's going to be your potent ways to get kills. Unless your opponent has well, at least you have like a kill throw, which is very safe. Or if you have like a kill setup, maybe like down throw, up air, which most characters have in this game. Shout out to Diddy Kong and Sheik and things like that. But now the new Ding Dong, not Ding Dong, the Bowser Koopa, the up throw, up air. But yeah, so that's another thing you need to figure out about what's your character. So give your moves purpose. So anyway, another thing you can do is while you're in the lab, obviously you can look up videos or some techniques to utilize your character. You know, so I'm pretty sure to most Robin, I keep saying Robin. Most Corn players, they notice that they see people on YouTube can do the instant dragon lunge. But when you first pick up the character, or you're like really new at it, you might not know or understand, well, how do they do it? You know, there's videos on how to do instant dragon lunge, and there's other ways you can make it easier. And then once you get used to it, you can find out ways to make this a lot easier for you. So, for example, obviously the way I do it, I mean, I've seen people do this before. They just mash B really fast. Like, they just side B and then mash B instantaneously. I've seen people do that. But my method of doing it is literally pressing the side B and then sliding my thumb over to the A button to insta pin. That's my easiest way to do it. Obviously, people do things different. They maybe scout their buttons too late, maybe having special to R. So maybe they just do RR really fast, or I don't know, depending on your play style and things like that. So, for example, that's one thing that I learned. That is like, oh, you can insta pin, or maybe you didn't ever thought about you can like use insta pin as recovery. But you're like, oh wow, that's cool. Instead of labbing forever and ever, you accidentally insta pin. You're like, wow, I found a discovery. No, you didn't. You just need to use your resources, because you know that shouldn't be given to you when you watch videos and study the character before you run around and do things like that. Obviously, learn combos, mix-ups, and strings with the character. Obviously, knowing what starts combos and what can lead into guarantees and what can lead into 50-50s and things like that. Obviously, there's videos all across the web. My main things I look for, or what videos I look for when I look at for guides and things like that, I look at Izal's videos, because Izal's videos are amazing. I think he has one of the best Smash content on YouTube when it comes to mindset. Also, same thing with My Smash Corner and BB Smash To Do. Those are my go-to videos or websites to go to understand and basic movement and different new techs out there. Another thing, you can also use character discords. YouTube, obviously I just mentioned that. Twitter, etc. Maybe like Twitch, or maybe your favorite Twitcher or things like that that mains that character, or your favorite pro player. Follow their Twitch and you can learn more things about that. You can directly ask them stuff and they give you an immediate response. So that's another way too. And then obviously practice some basic text of the things that you learn. Grind it out. You know, for example, so if I'm learning how to do B reversing, maybe go to the lab and do 5 sets of B reversing. So what I do to get a technique ingrained in my brain without thinking about it, I do 5 sets of 5. So I'll be like, that's 1. Then if I mess up, I start over the set. So if I ain't complete a set, then I just start back over until I get the 5 sets. That's 1. Obviously, I'm not well porous right now. 1, 2. And I just start over. And you get the point. Like, obviously I'm not really crispy with my movement right now, so anyway. And I do 5 sets of 5, and you don't have to do it daily, but just do it consistently. Maybe every other day, or whenever you get on the game of Smash, maybe practice that in the training room or something like that. You know, so just to get that in your subconscious brain, so you don't have to think about doing it. You just run and be like, I need to do this. And you can go ahead and bust it out, you know? So, that said. So that also revolving around perfect pivoting, wave bouncing, B reversing, jump cancel, up smash if you play like somebody like Mario. Maybe pivot tilts and pivot smashing. Pivot smashing with corn is like amazing. Let's see if I can get it, because there's an example of it. That's not me running into it like obviously I need work. Apparently, being a fraud right now. But anyway, you guys get the understanding of that. After you get all that down and you get all that in your membrane, and you're like, okay, I'm feeling this character, I'm getting the movement down. Let's back out. And you can actually do this here in the training room, but I prefer not sometimes, because there's no DK in training. So I like to just go ahead and go to regular Smash. And let's say, for example, let's go back to Corn. And you can use any character you want, but I like to use standard characters. Characters are like Barf that you can hit. Or if you want to practice on a certain matchup, go ahead, go for it. But the best characters to train with, I found out to be, is like DK, Bowser, Ganondorf, Marth, someone like Ike, Robin, Rob, you know, characters like that are more guaranteed to do things. If you want to like train some floaties, Pit's a good character to do that on as well. If you want to do floaties, if you want to do fast fallers, Sheik and Fox is a good character to practice some things on. And obviously if you want to do like really bulky characters, obviously Bowser, DK, Ganondorf are good. Like just regular standard characters, you can do Marth, ZSS, kind of like Mario, things like that. So depending on what you're looking for and what you're training on, you want to focus on that, and you want to practice your techniques, what you learn in training mode to a moving opponent. And the reason why I say practice on level 1s through 3s, because anything higher than that, the CPU will start trying to fight you, and their goal at this point is trying to beat you, right? And they'll use anything they can to win. So what the computers start scouting to do at these high levels is to actually read your button inputs. So on frame 1, when you push a button or B button or anything like that, they can immediately react to it, which is non-human. Which, when you're going against a lot of human players, they're not going to react on frame 1 of anything that you're doing, unless they get like a really good read on it. So that means obviously do your mix-up games or whatever. But you don't want to practice on these levels to do basics. Now you can fight level 9 computers if you're not trying to practice, you're just trying to like beat somebody that's really good, and you want to see what's guaranteed that works. So a lot of times, if you want to see like how consistent this combo works, let's say for example, if you like using Bayonetta and you're doing these Bayonetta strings, but you know that the level 9 computer can read and scout things, you can definitely test those out and see how the level 9 computer react to it. And obviously, if a level 9 computer can react to it, so can a human. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. But for doing basic training and setups and doing some consistent things better, like maybe doing like, I know of Corn, I like to try to get Nair footstool into down air into side B, and that usually works around 0, and I like to get that off. And obviously you don't want to play 2 stocks 6 minutes, you want to kind of play infinite stocks. So hey, I got items on. Awesome. So you know what I'm saying. For like, for example, you want to try to get that off, you know, and see how many times you can consistently get those combos off. And obviously, I'm not doing this for real, like whatever, but you know what I'm saying, right? And you want to do that 5 times a set, or 5 times, like I said, 5 times to me is my magic number. If I can do something 5 times in a row, and I can do another set 5 times in a row, and then 5 times in a row, that's 25 times of consisting of not messing up. So that's really good too. So that's something to look forward to. So now you know that like I like to do Nair footstools at low percent. Maybe do something if you get enough damage to a point where, like say you do the whole string, right, and it does like 44%. Now I'm thinking about what can I do from 44 to kill percent. Which you can do fair to footstool to down air. I mean, I'm just giving examples. You probably won't optimally do fair to, like, you're not gonna like play like a robot. I'm always fishing for Nairs to footstools, you know. But you're understanding like what you're coming from. So that's another reason. And then on top of that, after you get that done with a moving computer, you want to maybe practice on your friends. You know, have an offline session where you can have friends come over. You go to your friend's house. You can guys play some stuff out and show them your cool new developed character. Also, you got for gory, you know, tournament matches. So if you go to a tournament and you want to practice some things at a tournament setting, that's also okay as well. But that's basically how it is, and that's how I cycle to get better with characters, and you can test things out and you can learn along the way. Maybe you can go to a tournament, you're like, oh, I never thought of it like this. You back home and you train, you repeat the cycle, you know. So at any point, each one of these phases, you can always learn something, obviously. But you know, that's just how I train my characters and get my movement good, and I just do it over and over again. And maybe you learn a new technique like arc fire to arc fire, like, oh cool, that's really cool at low percents. Maybe you go through the whole cycle and then you get it consistent and blah blah blah. So all right guys, well that's my guide of how to develop a character through a process of what I train and practice and things like that. So I hope you guys find this video really informational. If it doesn't, then it's okay. I guess this video wasn't meant for you, but for the others that been asking me how I train and get better at the game, and obviously get consistent at it, that's my stuff of if I'm picking up a new character, that's what I do. So, alright guys, have a great day. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Alright, peace.